going on, Falcon fan? This your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. The first day of pass, training camp day 5. So guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit like button so I know you guys like here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So guys, today, I thought it was gonna rain. When we got there, it was cloudy. The rain held up all day. It was a good, cool day for the guys to be out there on the practice field. And what first thing I want to say is I want to have a shout out to AJ Terrell. After practice, he came right up to my nephew and gave him his gloves. I thought that was awesome. My nephew was so excited, so I just wanted to give a shout out to AJ Terrell for that. And guys, today, actually, it was kind of light today, even though it was the first day of pads. They had a day off yesterday. The coach wanted to come in and do a little ramp up. You can still feel the intensity out there and things like that. But a lot of things that they did today was more of walking around and stuff until like towards the end of practice. They did finally work on special teams, punt. So I'm doing punt and punt returns, things like that. So it was getting these guys back into, having a day off, getting these guys back into practice a little bit, and not going full speed right in pads right away. I think they don't got a little bit smarter than they used to back in the days. Guys, we was out on the football field. You come in and you want to get right to the Oklahoma drills and things like that, but um, these guys are pros. The collective bargaining agreement, they don't learn a lot with the players' health over the years, so they try to be smarter with how they do things. So they came in and just ramped up the first day of pads. But the things that I took from it, the defense still had that intensity today. You can see that, um, particularly in the running game. Guys, I mean, we talked about this. I think the running game, I don't know if it's a good thing for the defense or a bad thing for offensive line, because we know how offensive line was last year. But those guys are getting penetration in the backfield. Um, Grady Jarrett is definitely wrecking havoc, doing his thing. Um, AK-47, Armageddon, he had a good play today as well. 11 on 11. And then some other guys that stood out to me today was Casey Hayward. He had a good defensive um, um, good defensive, I guess, pass defense against Drake London. Even though I thought the ball was a little kind of overthrown anyway by Marcus Mariota, those guys definitely got their timing down, because from what I've seen, the deep passes right now, the timing between Marcus Mariota and his receivers is not on right now. And you actually, after practice, you can see him out there. That's what he was doing. He had some receivers stay back to just get some of that timing down. So I think that's a good thing. Still day 5. Um, AJ Terrell had another good play. I don't know if anybody can complete a pass on AJ Terrell, and if they do, he's right there at the spot. I know they threw a pass to Kyle Pitts, and AJ Terrell's right there. He had a pass defense as well. Darren Hall had a great play. Pass by Desmond Ritter down the field. He had a great play as well. I thought Demir Bird had a good day catching the ball. He had a couple catches today. And also, Geronimo Allison had a great catch by Marcus Mariota as well. So those some things that you can kind of just to pick from today. Like I said, it was a light day, but from what I can tell, the defensive line, getting the penetration, that's a good thing, or it's a bad thing. However you guys want to take it. We want to see our defense improve, but also we want to see our offensive line be able to do their thing as well. Um, Again today, we saw the same guys out there. I did see Jermaine Ifedi get some snaps at right tackle today. Um, so these guys they trying to see what the right combination for the offensive line is going to be. That's a good thing. So, but that intensity there again today, light practice for these guys. Like I said, they went on the special team. So it was a pretty easy day. Like I said, it was cool for those guys first day in pad. So um, we did hear from the coaching a couple of players today as well. Coach Smith, he talked about like I said, he emphasized just coming up off the day off. He wanted to just ramp these guys up lightly. Um, he emphasized that this week is going to be important for a lot of guys. This right here, they hopefully the guys start to separate themselves from each other. We got to be able to see that. Talked about Ryan Edwards. He talked about he don't think it's serious, but it's just gonna keep it day to day. Of course, these guys don't have to give injury report in the middle of of training camp. So, um, those coaches they superstitious about things like that. Anyway, he also mentioned there was no timeline on Deion Jones. So we don't know when he's coming back as well. He said one thing that we talk about a line of scrimmage and the running game and all that stuff. He's really looking for the first preseason game against the Detroit Lions. Because of course right now you can kind of get a little bit from practice because they're not taking all the way to the ground and things like that. And, you want to protect the team, so um, you can see if these guys hitting their holes like they supposed to. You can see if these guys utilizing the right technique on the line and things like that. But you definitely gonna be able to see when you go up against another opposing in these preseason games. So um, we thought for a minute that the preseason game was not important, but in some cases it is, especially when you have competition battles. Like this Atlanta Falcon team do, you got to be able to see these guys in live action in preseason games. So he's definitely looking forward to that. Um, the question was asked to him about some of the guys that like we always talk about, they ramp up from year one to year two, things like that. When do you know a guy? Do he have it? They don't have it. It's different for so many guys. I always think about the most important thing for any player um, is the situation they get in, the scheme they get in. Um, does this player fit what you're trying to get him to do? I go back and look at what Isaiah Oliver was doing in his first couple of years, and then he finally seemed like he found a home in the slot. But it took him a couple of years to do that. They kept playing him outside. Um, because of his tackling ability and things like that, and his size. I think he felt more comfortable in the middle. But it took him a while for those guys to figure out where to put him. But if you didn't have that coach to kind of figure that out, um, Isaiah Albert could have been out the league. So you have to give these guys opportunity to try to figure out what works for them, which brings us to the next point that Arthur Smith talked about. A lot of these guys here on 1 year deals, um, and I always go back to what they did to Cordell Patterson last year, coming in all those years in the league, and he had his best season of his career last year with the Atlanta Falcons because he was utilized in a way he could utilize all his skill sets, and that's what I'm talking about. He talked about Rashaan Evans. Um, Actually coming in this year on a 1 year deal, then he can have some of those impact plays that he had Tennessee, and showing that he actually is capable of still being that guy. And do all these guys come in on 1 year deals, can they actually um, be able to show what they got, and we can extend them to longer deals? So that's the whole idea of bringing these guys in on these 1 year deals to compete, of course, and then you're going to take a look at them, see if they fit your scheme, something that you can actually get the best out of these guys. So we heard from a couple of players. Of course, we heard from Marcus Mariota, Tyler Algier, and Keith Smith. And reality, the question in the line is all day was about the competitiveness of this team, intensity of this team, and all these guys kind of said the same thing. They can feel the intensity here. It could be what we just talked about, was the fact that it's a lot of guys here trying to prove themselves, showing that they still can play in this league. Um, and what you want to say, it's a contract year for a lot of these guys, um, but that brings a lot of intensity. That brings a lot of competitiveness, and that's probably the theme of this camp. I'm starting to hear a lot is that intensity, that competitiveness. We heard Dean Pease talk about changing the culture, um, things like that. It's a young group of guys. It's not a whole bunch of veterans on this team. It's a mixer of some vets, but a lot of mixture of some young guys as well. A lot of guys here in 1 year deals coming in trying to prove themselves. So that competitiveness and that intensity that you see is really starting to show its head. Um, each day at camp, and all these guys is really just starting to gel together. Um, Marcus also mentioned that a lot of guys just it's no cliques. Everybody like each other. That's the second time I heard that. Grady Jarrett mentioned that. So you can see and feel this team coming together and being the national underdogs. Um, Everybody thinking they're gonna have the worst record in the league. Um, and that's how you build that chemistry, guys. So I love this competitiveness. Like I said, every day that I have been out there and watching these guys play, you can feel it. It's the trash talk going back and forth, the whole defense. When one of the defensive player make a play, they all run up to him, congratulate him. When the offensive guy make a play, the whole offense run up and congratulate him. It's tit for tat going back and forth. That iron is really sharpening the iron. Um, and that's what we like to see. It still holds on this team. We know it. We still got things that we got to work on, but we you have to have that mindset. And Keith Smith mentioned this is having that mindset that you are good. You can be competitive. You can go out and beat this team, that team. It's just Marcus mentioned that it's good guys on this team, but we got good guys on our teams too. So, and like if you just go down the roster and pick each position, and you like, it's my guy better than that guy. You can go down the list, and then you come to find out that you have just as many as um, great athletes on your team than the another team that got great athletes, right? Yes, they got the name and they got the money, but at the same time, all these guys professionals. It's all about the team. The things that I think that we kind of forget about the most in the NFL is when we talk about competitiveness and competition is all these guys are pros, and then the coaching. I think the coaching is so important. We kind of forget about that. Um, we go look at all those Patriot teams, and they didn't have the greatest talent on those Patriots teams, but the coaching was outstanding, right? Um, Look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a great coach. He goes out and his coaching is outstanding. It's all about coaching, situational football, and everybody believing, having that mindset that they can actually win. And that's what Dean Pease was talking about. That's the culture you're trying to build. Um, you can see it starting to shape up in camp. It's just camp training, camp day 5, but at the same time, we just got to get these guys out on the field. We can talk about it, we can show it in camp, but we got to actually put it on the NFL field against the other competition. So they still gonna have opportunities. They got 2 practices with different teams this year: the Jaguars and the I can't think of the Jets and the Jaguars. So we're gonna get training camp practices with both of those teams, and then we're going to get our preseason games. That's a lot of different competition to go up against to see what these guys really made of, and there's some good talent on both of those teams to actually to be able to give these coaching staff a good idea of where these guys sit. We talk about our Kyle Pitts, we talk about AJ Terrell, we talk about our quarterbacks, how they go up against the other competition. We talk about our young receiver and Drake London. Um, talk about our running game. We talk about our pass rush. All these things. We talk about our secondary, our 2 young safeties. So all those things that we're going to be able to get to see in the preseason, we're going to be able to hear from the coaches during the practices, um, when they're having those joint practices with the other 2 teams. So um, I'm excited. It's day 5. Remember, this is the week that Arthur Smith said is going to find out a lot about these guys. Of course, they got to protect the team, stay healthy, and get back into it tomorrow. They're gonna have another probably a 4-day block, and then they're gonna take another day off. And the first preseason game, guys, is next the 12th. I think that's next Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. So guys, that's all I have from today. Training camp day 5. The key word, the theme for this year, training camp, Falcons 2022, is competitiveness and intensity. And this is your boy Ricondo. Come back at you with another video. Peace.